Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 369. Probably the nicest trial of the 300 series. Let's see who shows up. Get something cool together here. Okay, it's all right. Two interesting choices. There is the Sand and Ashes Hecarim. Pairs up with Ezreal, or not Ezreal, pairs up with Azir and is meant to be a Sand Soldiers slash Shark Chariot style deck. Could be kind of cool. Then over here we have this Malefic Descent Shyvana, which I do believe we want to take. We'll see if Vigio actually shows up in the second pack, but there's a lot of new dragons. There's a lot of new additions as far as Shyvana is concerned, and so this should be pretty cool. Shield Wall Shin down here, not too much different in this card pool. They did add the new Ionia the Ionia Enlightened card to this card pool, but it's not something we're going to want to pursue here. So let's take a moment. We'll get this pulled up on the site, and we're just over here at ftpbust.com. So where I keep all of my expedition related content. We're just going to scroll down on the main page to the expedition helper. We do have this all the way up to date for the release of the 212 patch. So the new Vigio and the Akshan pools are in here. The various cards, I think I got all of the cards added to Expedition from the new set. I think there are like 18 cards into 16 pools or something. Pretty close though. I'm pretty sure we got about all of it. So we'll pull up the Shyvana. There's not too much different for her as far as these new cards are concerned. The thing that was kind of striking to me with this card pool is it doesn't actually have the new dude in it. And so if we look at these other Shyvana card pools, they now have the addition of Ruined Dragonlord, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic for Shyvana. The problem that we have with these Shyvana decks and the way that we typically recommend you go out and draft them is you have to place this humongous early game focus onto your 2 drops and whatever 3 drops you can find. And so Egghead Researcher is a big one. The let's see if he's into this set. No, he's not. Dragon's Descent will have him. The Dragon Guard Lieutenant is another big one. These are the 2 big ones we're looking for, the Lieutenant and the Researcher. But now the Dragon Lord also fits the bill in here. And so the Dragon's Descent card pool looks pretty well set up with the Dragon Lord and the Loyal Badger Bear as just the ways to stop the early game. Because what we kind of imagine is that if the game pushes late, then we're probably going to be able to win. And so just the big dragons are as good as mid-rangey cards can get. Of course, we can't out late game like an Invokes deck, but for the vast majority of the matchups, our late game is going to be better than our opponents. And so the way you typically lose with Shyvana is your opponent gets out ahead of you, which is extremely important now since action is around and there's a lot of highly aggressive action-driven decks that are going to be in the forefront of Expedition for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And so this is going to be very important for Shyvana to look out for. But otherwise, she has all of the tools she needs to be successful. This specific card pool, it's not so much centered around all the dragons as much as being able to take advantage of some of the kill your own units theme. A lot of the Shadow Isles dragons have, if we just go take a peek at Vigio real quick, there's things like the Crawling Viper Worm strikes one of your allies or your Nexus, but has Fury in the early game, kind of a slay ability. The other rare dragon, the Camavorian dragon, does the same thing, right? Has this strike your own ally slay ability. And so, if we're looking to build towards this as well, we do need some of these early game plays. But on the Shyvana side, you're going to see things like Remembrance, Radiant gets a boost if you've had a unit die this turn, and then you have things like Grizzled Ranger that will put additional units onto the board. And so we'll see what cards show up, what way we want to take this, if we want to focus on dragons, or if we find like a Vigio or a Kindred, then we could look to go towards more of a Slay theme. All depends on what shows up. So the big thing, though, if we're looking to build towards Shyvana, really got to focus on the early game. Just kind of let the late game come to you. So, welcome to the squad. And let's see what shows up. So, Vigio doesn't show up here. And so we're back to the kind of classic how do I handle this Dragons deck. And the way this was in the past was you would just have to take Malphite here. There's so many dragon-based cards in Targon, even if you're ignoring Aurelian Soul. But if you want to find Herald of Dragons to make your dragons cheaper, then the 5-cost Spell Shield Dragon is the other big one that you're looking for out of Targon. if you're not in Targon, you can't find them. And so in the past, I would recommend that you just come after this Geomancy Malphite, but that's not what we're going to do today. I'm going to take the Afterlife Kalista and see if we can't get some of these Shadow Isles dragons to make an appearance. Kind of keep in the back of our minds, we're trying to have some of this Slay stuff together, because that might also work out with Kalista. But, we'll pull her up as well. Kalista, not quite the champion that she used to be. We could potentially look to build around her here, but they've done some like real work to this Kalista card pool. If you just want to take a peek at, there's probably like 8, 8, and 4 cards here, whatever that is, like 20 cards, and we've got about 7 of them marked as an X. Like, you're highly likely to just find some pretty bad cards. Like, we have this Phantom Prankster already in our card pool now. And so not going to be looking to chase after too much of this. What I'm curious about with Kalista is what still lives here as far as the kill your own units theme goes. So it looks like there's going to be Cursed Keepers here and Mask Mothers. And then what does the removals package look like? And we've got Vengeance, which we already have in our hand. They took Black Spear away from Kalista, and so it looks like Grasp of the Undying is the only other removal spell in existence. But as far as the rest of these cards go, the Epic's still pretty strong in the Undying, Wings, and the Wave. The Rekindler does play reasonably well with Shyvana, and I think we can still use this to some degree of strength. But let me take a moment, though. We'll switch back over to the Vigio card pool, since we're going to be getting a lot of these Shadow Isles cards showing up with our Malefic Descent card packs, and so I just wanted to get a quick peek at what actually lives here. The Soldier, not on theme, but fine. Chronicler of Ruin is old. Does have the 2 dragons and the Viper Worm and the dragon that we talked about. There is the Blighted Caretaker here, along with Atrocity, and so it's just like they're like, okay, we're done with Kalista being good. Vigio, you get all the good cards these days, and that's what you see here. This is just this kind of like classically good Kindred Kalista package where you have the the good sacrifice targets and the Cursed Keeper, Hapless Aristocrat. You have your Blighted Caretaker, and then you have the late game closer and Atrocity, which I have to assume is just absolutely fantastic with Vigio. I have to assume that he has a pretty easy time getting up to like 10 or 12 attack, and so having him be in his own card pool with Atrocity seems a bit bonkers. And so we haven't got to draft him yet. I doubt that we'll want to pivot to Vigio. We're probably going to want to stick more towards the Dragons theme here, but it's interesting seeing how incredibly powerful his card pool is right out the gates. But as far as this draft goes, everything we're looking for here is in this initial pack. Got a sacrifice card in the Cursed Keeper, and we got a Dragon Guard Lieutenant for the Dragons theme. I do want to pay careful attention that we don't go 50-50 and just kind of half-ass a Slay deck and half-ass a Dragons deck, which is how we're kind of starting out here. But I think this is okay with pick 3, where we're still just trying to find a bit of direction for our deck. Okay, and so not a bad start here. We got the Dragon Guard that we talked about, push our Dragons theme a little bit, along with a big removal spell in Despair. I do have to always call out with these kind of cards, yes, it does damage to your Nexus. No, that's not a big deal. There's just always this huge stigma throughout the history of Magic of people not liking cards that deal damage to themselves. I think probably around the time that fetch lands came out, people at least started to kind of realize, maybe it's not that bad to take a piece of damage to really fix my mana and be able to play all my spells. But just in case, you're new to card games or new to Runeterra or this style of thing, killing off your opponent's Teemo and taking a point of damage is extremely good. And then if, your opponent has Kindred on the board and you have to take 6 damage to not lose the game, then by all means, take 6 damage to not lose the game. Very happy to pick up Despair. Okay, so not a super exciting set of cards here. We're getting a Spirit Leech either way because I don't want to draft Noxus. And so would we rather have Vengeance or Black Spear? And I do want to just go ahead and take the cheaper one now. We have Despair, Concerted Strike, Vengeance, which all kind of function as kind of kill anything spells, and so I want to take the cheaper one in Black Spear. Okay, well, we're getting stuck with at least some of the kill your own units themes over here with the Senna Cursed Keeper. We can't take Penitent Squire. This is never going to activate. And then again, I don't think we want the Noxus thing here. So we'll take the sacrifice theme, even though it's a little off point with what we're trying to do. Okay, and then here I think we just need to take the cheaper units in the Caretaker Succession. I'm not feeling like we really need Molten Breath at this point. These decks don't really struggle with value, so I don't feel like we need to go out of our way for that value package. This will be okay. And then we got some more Dragon Chow. I mean, I'm not super excited about this. We haven't picked up any of the like the Slay Dragons, but I think we might be able to do something with the Dragon Chow. I'm not a huge fan of that card, but probably make something work with it. Okay, we're back on theme here, though. We're getting Cadridge the Ruined, which is extremely good, giving a champion or a dragon challenger, and then picking up the Egghead Researchers for our early game. We got a cat while we're at it. Come on. Okay. Yeah, what up? So let's see what we're going to do here. There are more Cursed Keepers. Like, what does our sacrifice package look like? We've got single combat, which is kind of awkward with him. The Caretaker, which is extremely good. I was expecting more of these, kind of Slay Dragons to show up. But I think we probably just don't want to keep on track with these. There is the Radiant Strike, which plays extremely well with these decks. You tend to, from like turn 4 forward, want to be spending all of your mana on units where you're playing like Shyvana into a big dragon, into a big dragon, into a big dragon, and it's very easy to have 1 mana built up for that, but I'm just pretty on board with taking all these Cursed Keepers. Boom, here's exactly what we want. Atrocity with this early game dragon. Looks extremely good. It's so easy to get in an attack with a Shyvana, have her be flipped, get the +2/+2, so she's like 6 health with like 1 Fury, sees a 7, and just close out the game with Atrocity. Very happy to pick that up. All right, well, here's an awkward one. We don't want Wraithcaller, we don't want Bannerman, and so I think we're just stuck with the Brightsteel Protector Redoubled Valor. Okay, and then here, fairly similar in having the Dragon Guard Lieutenant and the Crawling Viper Worm. I think that we have the 3 Cursed Keepers. We probably just want to take the Viper Worm, and it's both paired up with the removal spell. I'm not sure how many Despairs I'd like to have, but I'm not upset about having 2. Okay, well, I guess removal's removal today. Again, we got another Mask Mother to work with these early game Cursed Keepers, and then a Vengeance. So we could have definitely afford to trade away some of these expensive removals. I don't like having 5 between Despair, Concerted Strike, and Vengeance, but that's, it's something that we would rather have too much of than too little, and so no complaints there. You're beautiful, picking up a Lieutenant for the Succession. Point, looking pretty strong here today. So we do have to go and turn something premium. Have a pretty good feeling that we're going to be able to premium up this Shadow Isles Dragon and be right on track for looking good here. And so Dragon Guard Lieutenant, we keep seeing. I've noticed that I keep seeing him in the options for premium time, but I already had my mindset on the Viper Worm. He's going to be our MVP on the day. So cool, this came together pretty well. Let's jump to it. Okay, jumping on in. I think we're strong here. This deck seems good. We might have gotten a little light on top end. We didn't pick up any of the big dragons outside of like the 1/6/6, but I think we're okay otherwise. We got all the big removal to deal with our opponent's big stuff. We picked up plenty of early game stuff. Yeah, just worry about our late game. I don't like really want like 9-cost Cadrigen, but we need a little something up there. Okay, so I mean that's a start. We can see how the Dragon Chow into Viper Worm play does it for us. I think this works, right? I don't know how this interaction goes. Like we play the Dragon Chow. And then do we get this just ability for free? Because he's gonna be like on the left. Do we get the card draw here is what I'm getting at? Yes, nice. If we weren't gonna get the card draw, I wanted to send this thing the 3 damage to our Nexus, but now that we see that we can kill that thing for the bonus and the card draw, that's decent, I guess. I mean, I'm not amped about this level of card, but I mean the Dragon Chow at least plays reasonably with the likes of what's her name, Shyvana. Just gives her that strike right off the bat to help her get leveled up. Okay, Here I'm going to open with the intent to despair this ballistic bot. We don't have to wait on Victor to show up to play our despair. But I would like to see if he's going to play him this turn. Oof. Ooh, that's a little scary. Okay. Gosh, kitty cat. Oh my gosh. Oh. I think this is okay. Let's just get this ability off of the board. Kind of like foresee ourselves. It's slightly awkward that we did that because we do have this big like value line that we can do where we add the researcher, then hit it with the chronicler, and then hit it with the spirit leech or hit it with the caretaker. But I think this is okay. Definitely want to be able to caretaker the startled stomper next turn though. Next Victor, of course. Let's wait on him to spend the mana on the Hex Core upgrade before we single combat. Oh no! Oh no, it just counts? Oh, that was bad. I thought the spell had to resolve before he got the bonus, so now we're going to lose our unit. Oh, that's kind of a disaster. It's kind of a disaster. I think we'll still be okay, but this board would be much better if we didn't just lose our unit like that. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're living and we're learning. Figuring out how this stuff works. Picking up Shyvana. He's not super incredible on this board, but we'll make the value play. All the mind splitters. We've picked up all the top end we could ever want now. Mask Mother. It's pretty reasonably sized, but it doesn't seem great. Let's just slow down a little bit. Okay, not a lot we can do about LeBlanc, but we can get the caretaker going next turn. I don't think we have to get a mind splitter going next turn. Alright, but we do have to put some blocks out here. Do these. See if we can't find a worse unit than the lieutenant to send our caretaker into. Doesn't look like we're going to. Okay, so we still feel like we need to, like, using the blighted caretaker doesn't even seem that great here. Let's just throw one of these down.
Tell me a story. Do you know who I am?
Okay. Not great, not the end of the world. I'm surprised he didn't put his Moondreamer in front of this, but this all works out okay. We are into this classic, really weird kill your own unit spot where we don't have enough sacrifice outlets for our cards, though. Kinda sucks. But I mean, we got double Mind Splitter now, so we should be able to pull off something with these. Yeah, Mind Splitter noises. Sure. Okay. I'm intending on just playing a second Mind Splitter here. I'll get an attack in. Well, I mean, maybe we just don't even attack with it. I think I kind of like that. Like his only like real way to take this thing down is going to be something like a what are they called? Like the Nox and Guillotine style cards. And so I think as long as we just don't put our Mind Splitters into combat, that this will just work out. We want to hit. We probably need to hit the elusive though.
I've had enough of you.
So then, depending on how clever he tries to get next turn. Okay, here comes the guillotine style play. I don't understand that one. Alright, guess he doesn't have it. Hopefully our vengeance is enough to get through this mess. Taking a while, thinking about it. Ugh. Gross. Okay.
Final moments of a star.
We're still okay-ish, I guess, but it was certainly not ideal.
I'm what nightmares fear.
This, and then I think we need to take down the amateur aeronaut with our black spear, and then we'll intend on getting a blighted caretaker attack in next turn. Oh no, I meant to hit his elusive. Oh my gosh, we're messing it all up this game. This is not good play that we're making here. Okay, let's clean this up. So let's get the Mask Mother going.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
Okay, I'm gonna lose the 4-2 this way, but I think this is okay.
Missed your chance to run. Will you be quiet? Back, heretic.
Okay. What a sloppy game we've put together here. Just ignore this one. Skip over this one. Don't don't take this as anything going well. And given what we have in our deck, I think we can just wait a turn before we add Cursed Keeper, just in case we want to keep the space on our board. I don't think that we're going to want to, but he's never blocking, so we can let him just hang out for a bit. Now that we picked up a second Vengeance, we'll definitely get him down, though. Just let's emote it. We got the Vengeance for the Aeronaut, so. See if he stops at 6 or takes it the whole way. Okay, well. Guess that is that. Probably, I mean, there's an argument to take it up to 9. Like, what if we had a Withering Whale or something, but... Okay. Okay, let's try and see if we can't get a fearsome attack in with Mask Mother this turn. He's running out of cards, so he's not going to have a whole lot of options as far as that's concerned. Ugh. Ugh, that's scary. Maybe he's out of plays, though. Nope. Okay. Well, we're getting in for at least 6. We're going to take 1 from the ignition. Now we just got to dodge 2 turns of puff caps. Everything will be fine. Nothing could go wrong.
My gun does the talking.
All right, game. What you serving up here? We're dead. Okay. I feel like we probably should have won that one. That was a little sloppy. I made a couple obvious bad plays. I didn't line up that Blighted Caretaker well. Definitely. I'd say we definitely should have won that game. But to move forward, we do have the Wings in the Way here, and I think I'm quite interested in picking this up. We were really lacking on, you know, we just had that draw where we had the Blighted Caretaker, the Spirit Leech, and the Mask Mother all in our hand at the same time. We can't have that happening, and so the Wings in the Way should help out quite a bit in that sense. We don't want redoubled Valor anyways. Still need to pick up some more top end, but there was a dragon in there, but I think the dragons are going to be much more common than the early game sacrificables are going to be. Okay. And we got this draw again. Cool. Yeah, how different would that game have been if we still had our crawling viper worm after we single combated as Victor? Like that would have. I can't believe I haven't like had that come up yet. It's just I thought it was one of those things where that had to resolve first.
Hang on, Buzzball.
Okay. Got all the lieutenants now.
Full speed ahead.
So it's like, how worried are we actually about this Green Glade duo? I'd say the level of worry is pretty low, but we can still get these things going. I can't imagine this Vigio Shen deck is really taking advantage of Green Glade duos. We talked a lot about the Vigio cards here in this trial, and there's just not a lot of room for them out here. There are not a lot of overlap in what he's trying to do between the Shen things and the Vigio things. This feels like a combat trick, but oh, cool. I was gonna say I'm more than happy to trade our Dragon Guard Lieutenant for basically any combat trick. It's fine. We shouldn't ever be the aggro here. So the longer this game trudges on, the better space I think we have to be in. But ideally, we would have been able to play both of these units this turn, but doesn't look like how it's going to play out here. I think this is just a cycle, but going for the health, yeah, that's fine. He doesn't get much further ahead. He just gets not as far behind, I think. Perfect draw. Perfect draw. Oh no. Oh no, we didn't have a dragon though. Oh crap, I just assumed that we had a dragon after we played that first one. Alright, well. Let's make him survive this combat. He's gonna take some damages here. It's not the ideal way to have it go, but what it is.
What form will the waters take?
Gotta clean things up, old bust. Things are a little sloppy today. Get a big aggro draw out of this. We don't need the sacrificables out of the Wings in the Wave anymore, so we can just make the 3/3. Like it's not that bad if we just do Prankster, Cursed Keeper, Wings in the Wave. Just have a big old board. We want to take away his sacrificable? Probably not. I think if he had something he wanted to sacrifice here, he probably would have just done it, right? Like if he wanted to play a Blighted Caretaker or a Mask Mother or something, he would have probably just done it before combat. I do typically recommend just acing these as quickly as we can. Like in that first game when we had all those slay units in our hand and nothing to sacrifice, that's what we're trying to prevent when I talk about trying to get these Cursed Keepers off the board as quickly as we can. But at this stage of the game, I can't imagine it's, you know, if he's not doing anything with this, he probably just doesn't have plays with it. Play me, kill an ally, kill this. He's going to get a good block. I would assume he's putting the Life Blade in front of our Abomination. But this is fine. This is a good turn. Goodness, kitty. Come on. Ugh. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to need to vengeance this thing, but let's give it a moment and see what happens. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add the Firebrand, so if we want to play Vengeance next turn, might be able to play another card, but we're not going to have the mana to play both Vengeance and Dragon next turn. Can play Vengeance and Despair, though. Interesting. He gets a we can Despair the River Shaper, but then he's going to get the strike on our Nexus to draw a card.
Two worlds, one balance.
Okay.
Sweep
Actually care about this Shen. It's tapped out. We should technically throw a blocker in front of this, but I don't think it's going to matter here. Okay, then we'll just make the standard little to big attack here. We do this so if he has a barrier lifesteal, he needs to block on our 2/2 unit down here on the left. So if we did it, say, the other way with our 5/5 dragon on the left, he would get to prevent all the damage that the dragon was going to deal and gain the health, which is not good. So we want him to have to block our smaller units before he's able to gain the health back. Cool, here we've got a Blighted Caretaker along with this thing. I'm not real amped about this, but it's a 3/3 for 3, which is fine. He generates a card that we can sacrifice, and so there's some combo usage we can get out of this thing, and of course we're happy to pick up the Shyvana. We're doing dragon things here. We're not quite doing Vigio things, and so we'll continue to take the Shyvana path. Okay. The next one. We got our bad one out of the way. You know, if you're gonna have a bad one, why not make it your first one and then play well throughout the rest of the way. So let's see what we can do here. It always takes me a little bit of time to get used to these new cards as well. I'm certainly someone that's better the last week of the format than the first. Anywho, not a bad start. I guess we could hang on to Black Spear here. The only problem with this one is we don't actually have a dragon in our hand, so maybe we do go ahead and get rid of that. Assume this. I don't know what this guy's doing. How do you do this? You start Zed Nasus and pick up action or something? I don't quite get how this collection of cards comes together. But moving forward, the old Rakdos Defiler. Can't remember what that one is. Clearly a Magic the Gathering card. Feels like I played a ton of Magic when like that would have been out of like Gate Crash, I think. I think that makes sense, but can't quite remember that one. Hang on. Let's pick it up. A little magic on the thing here. Do a little Bing search. Oh, this is the expensive one. I thought this was the 2-drop. That's not exciting. Get that out of here. So with these, I'm just gonna take the damage. I don't want to lose our Dragon Chow to a Twin Disciplines, and we've already got this this reasonably strong board coming together. Could play Kalista just to be on curve. I don't have like real high expectations for her. Do that. Why don't we just do this? What do we think of this? Hang on. We can also add the Lieutenant. I think this is good. Or the Ruined Dragon Guard, whatever this guy's called. Now these attacks are still good. If he wants to spend a spell to win either combat, I'm happy enough with that. But it should be tough with him here, right? If he needs a Twin Disciplines to really do this well. I don't care if he plays a Shape Stone. If he trades Shape Stone for our Dragonhead Researcher, that's completely fine. the Absolver. I missed what the trick that was. That's good. Big mana out of that. What? Really out here Sonic waving our egghead researchers? This is the... Okay, I guess that makes sense, but I'm happy enough to trade a Sonic wave for a Sonic wave for other thing. Oh, grappling hooks. Oh, snap. Okay, I'm still on board with this. We could have made a Kalista flip play. I just don't think that's necessary on this board. I get an open here. Do it a couple turns from now. It seems like so far behind. Like the way that this is pieced together, it seems like he has to just be like playing big dudes or something, unless he has a hand of just like 100 combat tricks. Okay. Okay, so we'll put a unit in front of the Ruin Runner. Kind of that same thing we ran into in the previous game. We need to get this space off of our board if we want to get the Kalista flip next turn with Blighted Caretaker. This all seems fine. Want to hang on to the prankster here. Not doing the 1/3 isn't doing much different than this. Oh, all of our spells are slow. Okay. All right, fine, dude. Oh, got it. She doesn't pick up Ephemeral. I know I've done this one before to where Mask Mothering a sapling and being really scared about it. She doesn't pick up the Ephemeral trait when she takes something down. And we got this Cadridge and Chronicler of Ruin combo. Man. This is okay. We were going to take damage from that anyways. We're going to take damage from Zed anyways. Let's just get these out of here. Grant other dragons everywhere. Okay. How bad could this go, right? Oh gosh. Okay. I was like, oh no, we're gonna have a Nasus problem here. He's gonna flip, but I think that's okay. Oh. All right. So we can't do anything about that. Let's make some sad noises. Let's see, what are we going to do here? We could pick up the Soldier again. The Spirit Leech, not something we really need. I don't want to trade away the Wings in the Wave. The Mask Mother is pretty weak in this deck, though. And we are a bit light on top end. I think this would be fine. I feel like in a lot of these games, if we just had like one more turn, then the Radiant would be doing okay. And the Radiant would get us there, I should say. So I think this is a good pickup. Okay. Next one. Maybe we'll just turn this into a 13 gamer. Who knows? It's been a while since I've given you all a 4-hour video. What it seems like happens with these is like the deck is like really close to being good. I think this is pretty decent deck, but you end up making like a few trade picks and then you just shoot straight up to 7, or things kind of fall flat and you just lose it like 2 or 3. And so I mean it seems like we've gotten the pretty reasonable trade picks. I think our deck looks good here, so hopefully we can pull something off with it. But let's make the units try and get a Blighted Caretaker play here in 2 turns. I have to assume that this Riven action deck is going to be fairly aggressive. So I imagine we'll get a pretty decent Blighted Caretaker on our next attack if we want.
I don't need rules to know good from bad.
I feel like we could probably just go ahead and play the Caretaker. I don't suspect we're going to get like too much value out of this next turn, but I think this is okay. Get a block in now. He's going to get the strike, whatever. But then next turn, we can at least take action and the Ancient Preparations off the board, threaten a trade with the Protector somewhere. I think this is all good. Or if he needs to like hold back for a like a +2/+1, then that's extremely good as well. +2/+1, absolutely. So it's tough for him to add units to the board now. Just I think we might be able to pull something off like this. We can kill action. Does strike up his palace, but not a big deal. Well, this is where it gets slightly awkward, I guess. We're not going to have a kill next turn to boost our Radiant, but it's not the end of the world. Can't Black Spear with this either, like going fully wide like this, but I think we need to pick up the stats. Again, like the longer this game goes, the more okay-ish I think we're going to be. Get a free hook onto the Doomkeeper. Very similarly, if he has a combat trick for any of this, I'm not really upset about it. Oh, I thought he had... I guess we would get a Fury out of this, but I thought he had Fearsome as well. I think the 4-cost dragon has Fearsome. Looking okay. Our lack of top end is a little worrisome here, but this is fine.
We're not taking it. We're taking it back.
What you got for us? Vagabond number 2. Right. I'd assume he's attacking here. Oh, sending it right back to us? That works for me. So let's go ahead and start with this one. The Blighted Caretaker is just never going to be any good here. We can go ahead and get our Radiant rolling as well.
Justice will be served.
Remember what we fight for.
Care about this thing? Maybe not at the moment.
Strike for justice. Scum.
Took it fair and square.
Works for me. Which is never dying to damage anytime soon between this Radiant rolling and having the Concerted Strike to get additional strikes with it. This all seems fine, as long as we can get some late game going. There we go. We boost anything we have? Grant an allied champion or dragon. Can he target himself? Nope. I think we like really care about any of this, but let's see if we can't take some of this down. No, we should have done this the other way. Put the 4 damage on him first, so if he plays a healing spell or a trick or something, we would have still gotten the Fury. Okay. No punish for it, and then he gives up. So cool. Alright, yeah, so just need to find ourselves a little bit of top end, and I'll be quite happy with where we're at. Let's see, Senna for Screeching Dragon is perfect. This is kind of like my dragon of choice as far as these kind of mid-rangey dragons go. The top end doesn't matter a whole lot. You know, they're just all stats, but the Screeching Dragon coming down and being interactive is pretty strong. This is a very good upgrade for us. Okay. Lose and a win and a lose. Lose and a win, a lose and a win. Whew. Go. Akshan, 53% win. That's actually pretty strong for a new champion, just seeing that pop up. Like, typically when the new champions come out, everyone's like experimental with them and, taking a bit of time to figure out what's good and what isn't. I mean, I guess Akshan is pretty straightforward, so it's not that wild to see him being a good champion, but usually you see them like below or right at 50% game comes out. But this is fine. This is kind of like the full combo as far as Shyvana is concerned, being able to play the Dragon Guard on 3, play her on turn 4 to eat the Dragon Chow and get the strike and the double fury and such. So we can see how this plays out. I don't have like really high expectations for this set of cards and for these things to be happening, but that's what these things are set up to do. So maybe. Okay, I think this is safe, even if he has some kind of like glimpse beyond for his Undying to get a block of Bark Beast onto the Dragon Guard. I keep calling this Ruin Guard or something, I don't know. If he has a 3/3 block onto the Dragon Guard, he's not going to have a lethal on it this turn, so I don't think this is a big deal if he glimpses his Undying. I think if he had it, he probably would have just snapped it off, though. See what a big Shyvana can do. Legio Kalista. Yeah.
I am more than
So he's definitely capable of getting ahead of us here, but, we're looking strong, I think. This is... Oh, he does attack. We just flip our Shyvana here. Seems fantastic, right? There is like Mark of the Isles still in the format, but this goes right. She would go up +2 and then definitely survive the combat against Spark Beast. She finished that at 10-5. Is that what the number was at the end of the day? So this is fine. Yeah, I thought he had the Glimpse Beyond and was playing it kind of slow. But still, this puts us super far ahead on board. He's going to get his 2 Undyings back, right? He sacrificed both of them off, but pretty strong here. Those can't block. I think we want to just continue adding stuff to this board. Like, what... Well, how good is it going to ever be if we just get Blighted Caretaker going? That's probably less than ideal. Okay. Tough for him. This also keeps him from, say, like playing a Despair on our Shyvana. If we don't get too clever with it, I think getting this 10-piece nugget into the face is probably quite worthwhile. Not giving him an opportunity for fast spells. I mean, he can't Vengeance because he doesn't have the mana, but he certainly can't. He could certainly have a Despair here.
there are none like me.
Cool. And then this gets us really close to an atrocity kill as well, should we need to pull off that kind of thing. What you got for us here, S.A.N. Kleben? Life's big decisions are being... I think we really want to do anything here. I just kind of see this lined up as like we can just bank this mana into next turn, and then like if he taps out for like an atrocity, or if he taps out, we can just kill him with atrocity. So, let's see. Might have dropped his phone in the toilet as well. It's unseen at the moment if the we're up against the toilet drop, or if he's just thinking. Well, I think I do want to play the Chronicler though. Protectless Dragon Guard, just give him his stats back, and then we'll still have 7 mana next turn if we want to play Atrocity. This looks like it was the toilet to the phone, or phone to the toilet, whichever direction. Oh, he's back. JK. Go his tap out for a vengeance now. That's what we'd like to see, right? Okay, maybe he'll spend some more mana. It's tough for him to spend more mana here, but I want the opportunity just to get the lethal. Black Spear is not enough to take down Shyvana. This should do it. Oh no, hang on. He gained a health though. Oh snap. Whoops. All right, well, that wasn't quite what I expected. All right, let's see if we can do it this way. Now he's gonna play his despair now and get the 0 damage hit. Let's do it this way. All right. Standard bust mathematics right there. Am I right? 8 plus 9, 8 to 9 is it the same? Is 8 bigger than 9 these days? Even equal to it? But okay, we're fine to pick up the Shyvana. Nice to pick up another one of these 4-cost dragons. He also has this drain ability attached to it, which I don't think's super important, but it could be useful. And of course, a touch of late game and remembrance. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, this has been an abysmal trial. As anyone new shows up to watch this one and just sees us out here punting left and right, kind of be like, the fuck are people watching this guy for? Okay. Do we want to keep the Protector? That's probably fine, right? We can just go face with the Viper Worm if we want to play it on 2. Don't have to have the Dragon Chow play to make this guy good. Just a 3/2 dragon for 2 mana is a pretty good deal. Fury is a decent deal. So, okay. That's probably, well, now that we've hit Viper Worm, things might be a little, or hit the Wings in the Wave, things might be a little different. No, they aren't. Not that he's played this. Why did we just lose our unit? What the hell is this? Oh, it's just... Okay. I was like, what kind of shit is that? That's not the way this card's supposed to work. Okay. Alright, things are okay now. Seems strong. Got it. And he is playing multiple copies of her. We might have to hit her with the Vengeance, but Sparrow worked just fine. Next turn, we still have the mana to do pretty much everything. We want to give it a turn? I don't want to have to vengeance her. I definitely don't want this to flip. Lose out on our dragon for this thing, but I think this is okay. This one, nice little pickup.
I stand for Noxus!
Kick.
Ready weapon!
Sad face. I know, my man. I know. Right, our hand is pretty weak, though. We have some of the tools to deal with this stuff like next turn, but really want to have to vengeance this hopeful. Might find ourselves stuck here. It's kind of what we get for not going for the Blighted Caretaker on the previous turn, but I was in a spot where I didn't want to just get stuck with the like getting one hook and then half a hook on the other one. Quite a bit of damage. He's only got one champion left though. Ooh, okay, something good. Something. It's okay, I guess. This is bad. Maybe we'll get a despair here. Ew. Ew. It's not interesting. At least we get to take 2 units down now, but pretty far behind. Have 4 cards in hand as well. This is not good. Do this. We're gonna take 4 next turn. Has to be opening, right? Okay. Late to the party. 6 fall to 4. Okay. All right, buddy. We need a good dragon. Some good.
The more we know, the less we fear.
Can't. Even if we draw Shyvana, we can't get usage out of her with this thing, so I'll probably just have to play. Champion number 4. All right, I think this is done. We'll see what we draw next turn, and we probably just have to despair as Kalista or something and say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize we were going to die to that." Okay. Let's not give up just yet. See what happens. No. we won't up it right. We'll play the despair. I think that's the proper way to go about this. So we can say we killed all his champions, right? That's that's the sign of a well-played game. Good stuff. All right. So what we do here, picking up another Screeching Dragon seems fantastic. There is the opportunity to get rid of Phantom Prankster, which is pretty bad, but I still think, you know, we're really lacking in this mid-game portion of our deck, and so I'm happy enough to pick up the dragons here. Okay. Keep the dream alive. Mono Noxus. Gonna have to watch out for the aggro's hitting us here. So let's just keep this early game stuff. I think Black Spear might be a little bit too expensive. And okay, that's a reasonable start. It just gets awkward with Black Spear, like having to be in a combat and then, you know, targeting something after you've hopefully made a trade. So depending on how this guy starts out, I could see a world where we actually just go face with the Viper Worm to get some additional blocking in with the Dragon Chow. Probably not super likely, but, you know, something to keep in mind. Probably tough for him to, at this stage of the game, to like block a 4-attack unit as opposed to just getting more out of the face damage. How do we feel here? I think we just want to be slow. I mean, this does give him the opportunity to play like further Trifarian Hopefuls, but I don't feel like that's super likely.
Just need a second. We wear red to honor the fallen. Chase them down. Here they come.
Probably should have flipped these, right? If we want, you know, say he's going to play a combat trick to win here. None of them exist, but well, I guess he could Whirling Death something. But if he was going to say play a +4/+4 combat trick, we would rather him save the rear guard. Well, I don't know which of these seems like a spicier target for him to take down. No, I don't think. Never mind. That line doesn't make much sense here. But nonetheless, we're about to get this Shyvana going. We're going into turn 4 having taken 0 damage. I think this is going to be pretty good for us. Okay, well, let's see if he's got that Nox and Guillotine here. Nope. Oh.
Never play fair.
Interesting.
They'll never see it coming.
Get this flip.
Come face me.
Okay, well, even if this like fails, if something happens to where we lose our Shyvana, we get the boosted Radiant after the fact, which I think is probably going to be quite important in this matchup. He should have quite a bit of trouble, you know, coming up with enough damage to run through this, unless he has, say, like a bunch of Legion Marauders. So that's okay. She didn't get her flip in, but Radiant's about to happen.
Violence solves everything. Justice will be served. Never play
Sure.
fair.
Take the 4. Interesting. Maybe we'll get a Despair or something. Can be awkward if he has, say, like a Whirling Death, can return her to hand. But let's see what happens here. I'm not very worried about this Katarina right now.
You're covered.
I stand for Noxus.
Let's get him in there. Beautiful. Cool. So now we should have all the tools to just shut all this stuff down. Okay.
The prettier the rose, the sharper the thorn.
Get this squad going, and now We can replace the Caretaker with the Prankster if we want. We missed out on the 2 damages, but we got to keep the Escaped Abomination. I think that seems okay. Guile is not ultra impressive. I didn't see where it was going. Oh, it's on a Blighted Caretaker? Okay. Alright, so I'm fine with that. Kind of leaning towards just playing Despair. Take down this big boy. Can still come in with the Viper Worm if we want, say like kill off the sapling, like overwrite the Caretaker to kill the sapling or something. Okay.
Time for the main event.
They always love the loud.
Grove follows.
Okay, so we can do something like this.
Strike for justice!
This one. This one.
Delicate fob.
Yeah, okay.
My pleasure.
Seems good. Alrighty, I can't imagine losing this one now. I mean, having the Vengeance, his health so low, our health so high, and a Prankster to chunk in some of this damage if we need to. I think we'll be just fine.
Let's boogie.
We can play Katarina and Rally, which is slightly awkward, but I think she's the target that we want for Vengeance, and so if he just sends it back to us, that's completely okay.
Watch and learn.
Okay. Right. I have a dragon, so let's get this guy down. We'll just play everyone before we attack. I think this will be quite good. Oh, rip. Okay, well, I guess we better eat the damaged unit if that's what we're doing this turn. Now he's stuck with just the guillotine, so should be good to go here. Oh, I didn't get to play an emote. Okay, so let's see what further we can do here. I'm not super interested in picking up Cursed Keeper or trading Dragon Chow for Cursed Keeper. That combo's fine with the Shyvanas and stuff. I'm just not super interested in that. I'd rather have the unit than the card draw in the early game, I do believe. Then here, I think we should hang on to Remembrance as well. The Rekindler is kind of interesting. And we're lacking a bit of late game. I think that's probably pretty decent here, picking up Shyvanas with this if we need to. Oh. Okay. Off to the next one. I saw the Pike with like a 47% win rate. That sounds about right. All these champions are above 50%, and there's Pike well below. But all right. I mean, this has potential to be okay. I think we probably have to get rid of Cursed Keeper though. If he has a big Zed draw on us, this is a problem. If he has a Green Glade Duo draw on us, it's also a problem. And so it's like our cards are probably good enough to say like hang on to Shyvana, but I think we need to be a little careful here in the early game. And all I'm kind of thinking of here is we do have the means to just like keep passing. Going into turn 3 here, now we can yeah, hang on. I don't completely like that. We should have played Dragon Chow in the previous turn, but yeah, oh yeah, that's not ideal now. So we have to do it like this, and we lose out on the cards. But we can get we can look at it as just getting more stats by way of Cursed Keeper if we want. That's what we'll say. Okay. We'll pivot over to the Blighted Caretaker line. Yeah, that was a little sloppy. He played fully expected him to play Zed there, and we could have done a little better to try and take him down. But pretty strong attack here. If he wants to protect his Zed, he can't add too much to the board. Not going to be able to Vengeance next turn, but it's okay. We'll put him on the left, so if he's going to bury or lifesteal, then we still get all the damage in.
Silent as death.
Okay, not bad. Bad. Not a lot we can do about this elusive path. We probably just have to get Screeching Dragon down. And try and take this stuff down. He's always attacking here. So the question for this turn comes down to like how much of his stuff can we get in here and take down? And this was just a beautiful draw. So let's do this. Let's Cursed Keeper. We'll kill the Cursed Keeper with the Viper Worm, and then we'll just try and double down on the early game plays here. So his Swole Squirrel can't positively interact with any of our units either, which is pretty nice. So with these, I'm gonna hook the Life Blade with our Dragon Guard Lieutenant. This is the one he's going to prefer to keep over the Shadow Assassin. So we'll hook the Shadow Assassin with the Dragon, get our 4 attack units in, and then we probably are safe to just go ahead and attack with the Caretaker as well. If he wants to try and go on some kind of Swole Squirrel plan, then we can just Vengeance it next turn. Okay. Oh, looks good.
Stay hidden.
Don't approve of people doing this kind of thing, my man.
Cannot hide.
Play that. Play the Sonic Wave beforehand. And then we can't lethal here with our board into his board, so we're just going to have to add our 2 dudes to the board and get a big attack in on him. May not be able to win the game this turn, but should hopefully be able to just annihilate this board. Oh, Concerted Strike, beautiful. I think we'll probably just want to save that for next turn. But we can start with Shyvana just in case. Like if he makes some kind of weird pass here, then maybe we look to use the Concerted Strike. But I don't think that's how this is going to play out. I think we're going to just play Dragon Guard and attack with everybody.
Spark and I will keep you safe.
Soon Demacia forgets. Okay, so we got to hook something. It probably just needs to be Greenglade Duo. If we hook the Duo, I mean, we can get the Duo to just block. It has to block something. So let's do this. 2, 4, 4. 4s. Oh. Yes. So regardless of whatever the Duo comes in and blocks, it's just going to die. He can put it in front of one of these 4/2s if he wants, but I'd rather him just force this into combat. And if he wants to save it, you know, as a blocker, it's going to take him some work. Okay. But yeah, get the whole squad in here, my man.
Leave us alone.
Hope that's lethal, my man.
Leave us alone.
Surprised he put the barrier onto the Fey Guide, but sure. Alright, looks good now. Sweet double removal spells. Not gonna get too much out of Despair at this point unless he just adds a, something completely ridiculous. Let's play it safe. Bad as this if this fails. This is going to be the safer way to do it. Or, I mean, he's playing Ionia. Let's just take it. Let's see how that goes. The Despair is a little dangerous now that we're down to 3, but I think this is okay. Gonna need another bounce spell.
I am more than I seem.
Well, hang on, I've got to do 6 damage here. That's a little more than I was anticipating. This might be okay. It was too greedy to not just Despair the Fey Guide. I mean, it was going to hit us anyways. Maybe we should have done it. I just kind of felt like we might get a better blocker, or we might play something with less health, because we don't really care about the quality of his units so much as the quantity, right? If we can get wider than him, we should be able to win the game. And so, kind of thought we might be able to get something a little smaller and a little stronger. But, man, this is a problem. Right.
Suffer my fury.
We'll have to find another answer to this thing. I think we are going to be a damage short this game. Maybe we'll just draw that atrocity off the top. Nope. Oh man, if he didn't open, we could have got him with the dragon. That would have been a way to do it. So, well, I guess that was a little sloppy. We probably should have just used the Despair. I don't know. It just feels like you probably don't want to Despair the big unit. Kind of want to just let him be on board, because I think the idea there was probably okay, right? With the idea that if it doesn't matter what's on the board, it just matters how many's on the board, was what I kind of felt like we were running into. But nonetheless, moving forward, I don't want to make any of these trades. I do want to hang on to our Black Spear. These removals are all good. We don't have like quite enough sacrifice cards to chase down this Cursed Keeper, I think, so we'll go ahead and skip this trade. Right, still on track to give you all the full 13 games. That's why I'm doing things this way. I see the lines and I know how to get the wins, but I'm just losing on purpose so that we can get more games in this video. You are quite welcome. Okay, interesting. Teemo with the dragons. See, it's tempting to keep something like Remembrance, but we'll go ahead and full mulligan everything except Despair. This will be our way to try and answer Teemo if he has an early one. I think this is safe. See what comes out of this. So we want to like play it now if we draw one of these random dragons, but the kind of the thought here was, even if like we need to have 4 mana on turn 4 for the Despair, we can do it whether or not we play something now or later. So do we want to get the Lieutenant down just to start attacking? I mean, he's playing dragons, so could potentially get some usage out of that. Definitely don't want it now that this thing's here. Okay, Kalista, you're a little late to the party. We have to answer what's already down here. Cool. Okay, cool. Maybe we will get this Kalista going this game. Somewhat hard for him to deal with this. Kinda hard, a little hard. Non-zero amount of hard. See if this stops him from attacking. I'll come in here and block this stuff. Like he might have a removal spell here for us, but kinda is what it is. Can't lose any units this turn by playing Shyvana, but I think we can get out ahead of him here. A little scary against the Puffcap decks, but she's gonna start being problematic. Okay.
What's the fire breath this time?
A soldier should know to stay out of the way.
Yeah, I think we can let the damage fall off here. We can try and take this thing down. Enemy spells or skills. Okay. I don't think Concerted Strike. We'll just have to wait and see. I thought you could Concerted Strike this because it's your units hitting it. We'll just have to put it down and see what happens. Because it's not the spell or the skill dealing the damage, it's the strikes dealing the damage. Okay. Put it on the Oracle's Eye and it says we were correct. Okay. Just need to get like a little bit more damage in for this atrocity. But... Full beam. Okay. So we'll get our Shyvana leveled up. Get in for a 5-hit, taking to 11. It's a little scary. We're a little far from a win, so I don't want to think too much of this board. But getting a big boosted attack Shyvana will help us here. If we draw a cheap unit, we also have a pretty easy way of going wide next turn. Ugh. Do we ever just atrocity now? That can't be the way to do it. Okay. There we go. That's pretty close to lethal. Oh, we have the mana for everything if he doesn't have 2 units here. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So we can only hit him for 1 if we oh god. Things just got horrible. Well, we can hit him for 5, right? We'll have 4. 4 plus 1, 5. We're gonna be a 2 damage short. If we ever have better, we have to save this atrocity. Okay. We just have to go ahead and do this. We have to get this thing on the board. We're gonna have to be able to block next turn. Oh boy, double Captain Erika. Brutal. We've been lethal if we threw that Shyvana. I'm not sure where we stand with that that amount of damage. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have to Vengeance Teemo. The real question here is if we want to actually... We have to block this stuff, let's be real. We have to block 1 Erika. I was trying to see if we had a way to like go wide, but it's just not going to happen. Do we ever... we can also just like... There's no way. I was going to say, we can also like spend an atrocity on one of these captains and then throw a vengeance at it, but I don't think getting our Shyvana back would be enough to win this game. Okay. Not quite who we were looking for, but maybe it'll work here. Let's see if we can't wait and give him Challenger. Nope.
Another day guarding the walls.
Oh man, what a sad way to go. We can still do it, right? We got the ways. Uh-oh. Oh no, he's gonna open on us? Don't open on us. Ah. So we have to block everything. So close. Do we throw our 4 at him now that we have this Phantom Prankster? What do we have left? The Rekindler's another 4. We could hit a Remembrance for like a 5. Cadrigen's a 6. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to it. Sure. I just worry doing things like this if we ever get a play that like if we have to play the unit on his turn, then he's just gonna like open kill us. Man. Yeah. Could have thrown a 5 at him with the Shyvana, but okay, okay. Alright, game. Ooh. Maybe, maybe. I must say, we deserved that one. That's how you do it. Pure skill. I knew it was going to happen perfectly like that. As you know, if our opponent does stuff like that, it's luck, but when we do it, it's skill. Awesome. So let's see. Let's go ahead and pick up this other dragon here. The soldier, I mean, it's reasonable. It's good at slowing down the board, but we definitely don't have any of this theme going on. And picking up the dragon is, of course, pretty nice. It's okay. Let's get ourselves ready. We just play sloppy the whole time. Then our deck will just RNG us when we need it. That was awesome. Oh, okay. Back to it. I'm gonna play one game before it's over where this isn't just a complete slop fest. So interesting start here, but I mean we have to be pretty aggressive in our early game against Riven. So I think we probably do just get rid of Remembrance. But I mean, how bad is it if we just? I'm thinking of just like doing this to where we just play Remembrance on 3. Then if opponent doesn't have a 1, this is pretty strong. I think I'm okay with this, and then we have to just like hold on to the Radiant in case they get out really far ahead of us. So good. The Researcher was a good pickup. So if we feel like he's being too aggressive on the second turn, we can just play the Researcher. But I think we'll be good to just play the turn 3 Remembrance here. Okay. Good deal. Not the aggressive draw is really worried out of this deck. If they'd played like Runeforger, Runeweaver, or whatever the 1/2 reforges are, that would have been quite problematic. But a little bit slower coming down from the other side. Okay. Right. Well, this is going to be a crossbow, I guess. But you know, we'd rather him play crossbow on the defense when he doesn't have quick attack. So reasonable enough. Captain Erika. Poor Erika in the previous game. Oh man. So what do we do here? Now we start to have options to where we can play like a 1 and a 3, or we could just add Shyvana. It just kind of depends on what opponent does here.
The past is a burden you
It's Riven
bear.
with weapon hilt mana, which is a little on the scarier side of things. I think we'll just go with the Dragon Guard, then put the Dragon Guard in front of Clockling, and then we'll... Riven's not like scary to the degree of needing a vengeance until he tries to play the sword, and so we'll just try to keep that in mind to try and take her down. But this definitely feels like a weapon hilt coming in, which I'm fine with. Okay. Still fine. Do we want to bank the mana? I think we do. So when it comes around to his next attack is going to be on turn 6. So if we spend all of our mana here, then we can still have vengeance mana for the Riven, if that's what he intends to do to us. So just try and get some stats on board with Shyvana and the Dragon Chow.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead. I serve my people. Right.
We got some stats on board. That piece of the puzzle certainly happened. Okay. Spare, not a bad way to deal with Riven. This is the problem now in the Ruin Runner, which I'm pretty okay with just throwing Shyvana in front of. And a handful of turns from now, even if we don't want to use the spells, we're pretty close to being able to Wings, Researcher, and Radiant all in the same turn. Ew. None of these do quite what we want. Got in hand, Relic of Power. Happens if we can single combat. I think this is fine. We'll single combat, try and take down the Riven. And then once the Siphoning Strike happens, we can still play Radiant after the fact. She's going to be a decent blocker here. Going back up to 19. Taking 0 from this, that seems good. We just need time. Can't imagine their late game is better than ours. It's too risky of a block over here on this Charger. He's gonna have a combat trick here way too often, I think, and so the Shapestone is brutal. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing with these cards? We probably need to start out, just pick up a dragon. You're not the one I was looking for.
Still riding that old sand runner? I'll buy you something nice.
Oh, no.
Sand runner may
We
decide
want
to
both of
burn
these.
you one day.
Then we can get the drain here at least. Try and put some health on his Ruin Runner. Oh, nope. He's going for the Overwhelm plays, huh? And it's like we need to attack with the dragon here. I think he probably just takes the damage.
Just a moment.
Okay, because if we trade, it's okay. I don't think he can just like get a takedown here. Oh. Double cool.
The world awaits. Forward.
What are the chances we end up just like using a vengeance? If we, I think we probably just want to add Captain Erika, right? Is this a play or a summon? Summon. Could just hit the Glory Seeker though. Because we can't quite play 2 cards here. Well, I mean we can Concerted Strike Viper Worm, but then we don't have space on our board after the fact. This is fine.
What I do in Demasia's name.
So he can get like a big quick attack challenge out of his Glory Seeker Drummer combo, but I don't think he can get like a humongous turn out of us here. Or if he wants to just Legion Drummer his Ruin Runner and then hook the dragon, I think that's okay as well. He can get like most certainly get like one good play here. I don't think he can just get like a ton of good plays. It's part of the path to a ton of good plays. Oh no, he's just gonna sword us, isn't he? That bad? It's not lethal. I don't think we had like a real option in the matter though, as far as sword is concerned. Right, him just having like 2 units is horribly bad for us. How much we taking here? Going to neg 1. This is to 2. And we still have to play around a weapon hilt if we want to do it like this. I think we have to hang on to our dragon. Okay. We'll lose to a weapon hilt if that's what he has. Okay, okay. Can we do this? We can technically get some drains out of the dragon. Can't really like pick on his board too much, which is a little unfortunate. I think like a needed a lighted caretaker here. But the dragon is can't even get a takedown. I think this is okay though. If we go into next turn with 12 mana, we can play 2 removal spells, and then we should have good blockers next turn. We have enough health for that though? We can get... I think we do. Maybe we don't. Have to hook this Glory Seeker here. We have to... We need to be able to put... Well, we can have Fury units to go in front of these. I think this is okay. Alright. Oh, well, yeah, we can still get like concerted strikes on the outsides. The problem that's going to be here is when, you know, we only have 12 mana. If he draws a unit here, it's a problem. I don't think we can beat a double challenge either. Right, because we needed to be able to cast spells on both of his spell shielded units.
Face me. Remember why we fight.
Be a spell short here, right? Because the idea was he's gonna hook something with the Glory Seeker. We put 1 blocker here. We put 1 blocker here. We concerted strike the Profiteer. Then we vengeance the Tusk Raider. But a little too far away from doing all of that. Right, we can't pull this off. Yep, that was good enough. That was a pretty good Ruthless Predator. Did. Alright, well we're just here to get you all that full round of value. Gotta get the full 13 in here. Yeah, it was just like a little too awkward. We needed like 1 more mana that game, and I think we would have been okay. But here, yeah, trading out the Rekindler's fine. I'm still okay with these earlier game dragons. The Rekindler's not a huge deal. We don't have too much trouble with value here. Okay. Game 12. Some Big-Yo Jarvan combo. See what's going on here. So, I mean, that seems reasonable, right? Keeping our challenger with the dragon in hand and cycling away the other ones. Seems reasonable. What you got for us, Dudeheim? Is this how we want to go about it? We want to get a blighted caretaker turn. It's going to take a while, but probably rather just play Shyvana on turn 4. So I think this is okay. Really? Okay. Well, if you have a Radiant Strike, I'm okay with it. Like, I don't get why he would just do that, though. Huh. Okay. These premium Shyvanas, I forgot about that. All shiny and stuff. Oh, that can't be good. It's never good when you have to play the Stalking Shadows on 3. And I'll play the Cursed Keeper here. If something happens to deal damage to our units or whatever, I want to have this guy out to do his thing. Oh, the Shyvanas. 1 mana short of dropping these confronts, but this is okay. Be a pretty fun and interactive turn for El Moccasin here. Okay, let's just empty out his board here, right? Whenever against these Vigio decks, they have a lot of these slay abilities, and so if we can keep his units off the board, I think that would be great. Like if he wants to play a Blighted Caretaker this turn, he has to have a 2-drop to go for the Caretaker, and just really tough for him to recover in all this mana loss. And here, I'm kind of thinking of, it's like, we could play Phantom Prankster and pass. Deal with this Vigio. Is he just ignorable? He might at least be ignorable this turn. Each round, first time an ally dies, summon mists. Or, I mean, kinda okay if we just get a trade. Does he ever just try to trade with Shyvana? Seems a little sketchy to me. So it's this weird thing again where we'll end up losing our unit. We've been pretty bad about managing this Blighted Caretaker, but I think this is where we want to be. Oh, we didn't do it wrong. Okay. Jeez, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, team. But now we still have a lot of options. The idea here is we're going to end this turn with a Remembrance, but if he plays a particularly juicy unit, we might come in and just pop it with the Confront. Then we could still technically do all that if we're going to lose 2 saplings here. I think this is okay. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Still feels like he has a combat trick. Seems like, pretty certain he had a combat trick last turn, so I don't think our Shyvana's long for the world, but I think it's probably worth going after. Okay. Especially since we had so many more copies in our hand. Is he just dead yet? he's pretty close. Let's see what we get here. And let's just bank this mana. See if we have like a Vengeance or something next turn. These researchers and stuff aren't like super important plays right now. Up a spell. So he's definitely got to deal with our Phantom Prankster before he does too much here.
We wear red to honor the fallen.
I serve my people with pride.
Oppose me and die.
Need this on the left, my friend. Definitely needs to be on the left. Probably okay just to lose Shyvana, right? Would we rather lose Shyvana than having the Screeching Dragon? I think so. Screeching Dragon seems particularly good here. Wonder if he'll just get us with like a Glimpse from Beyond. Just Glimpse from Beyond your own Dragon Guard Lieutenant. Just to set up the next level blocks. Doesn't seem like that's what's happening here. Okay. Alright. Alright, final battle. Get yourselves ready. Okay, so we got our 2 trade picks here. I think the Dragon Guard for the Bright Steel is fine. I don't really like Withering Mists, but how many Despairs do we have? Just the 2? Okay, this is fine. Let's pick up the Dragon Guard. And our last one. I want to hang on to the Wings in the Wave. I don't want the Ruination. And we'll hang on to Black Spear. So that's a fairly easy skip. I mean, I know we've gone the full 13 rounds before. I'm pretty sure we did. I don't think we got 2 wins in a row this trial, but so it's so odd just seeing 2 trade picks at the end. Glad we got that many. we certainly needed it here. But that technically could be the strategy, right? To come out here and assemble the perfect deck. If you get that would have been 13 trades total. Is that, well? I guess if you just get 13 trades either way, right? If you win 6 in a row and then you get 7 trades at the end, that's 13. That makes sense. I take it back. It's not the way to do it. Just to be out here punting games. Okay. That perfect opponent waiting to be found. It's just we can't win a game 1, so it's probably just finding the worst opponent with the worst deck so that they can just easily get their 7 wins. You find that opponent where it's their first day playing Runeterra, their first expedition. They made it to the final battle. Just slot him in against FTP Bust because he is playing abysmally and losing every game 1. I appreciate that, Riot. You're looking out for me. We'll wait till this gets up to 50 and then I'll restart the queue. Close. We could have played the Poro bot, perhaps. Right, 50. Let's try that again. I'm trying to get a game. Can't do anything about that. Internet connected. There's Pike again. Look at that. Vi has a 60% win rate, but then Pike is at 47. Vi is abysmal. There's the big one. Garen is, whenever I get the new tier list out, Garen's going to be up there in tier 1. Just the Demacian Steel version. Tarek's looking strong. Riven's looking real strong. She's extremely good these days. So weird seeing these win rates. Like, I get that, it's typically more along the lines of your expedition players that are out here using these deck trackers, but it's so weird seeing these win rates so high with some of these champions. I would assume, things are a lot closer to 50-50 than it appears on the chart there. I don't know how much work Riot really puts into curating and maintaining the deck lists, but they put enough work into it to where I would assume when the champions get pushed up too high, they catch kind of a card pool beating. So, all right, well, I'll give this one more try. If we get up to 50 again, I'll cancel it, and then if we can't find a final battle on our last try, we'll play against the Poro bot. Not a big deal. Maybe it's our MMR so high, there's just no no worthwhile opponents. After you've played a bunch of games like that, it's very clear that you're probably the best player in the world. Poor Katarina, she was on the champion list there. Her card pools are not good anymore. We're playing Afterlife here today. They took the Mist Wraiths out of it, which was kind of, I get it, but it's kind of odd. And then Redemption got hurt quite a bit as well, or Remembrance, whatever the Lucian pairing is called. But all right, we're back in action here with nothing to do in the early game, so we'll just cycle everything away. Much better. We have here Talia, Malphite, Aurelion Sol. Okay, ready for battles. Get these attacks in. Reduce the cost on our Sandstone Chimera. There you go, my man. Say what up to our 4-3. What's the chance he plays a not 3-3 unit? It's too easy for him to play a 3-attack unit. Let's just go ahead and get the attack in. What's either gonna happen? We're gonna attack. He's gonna not block. We've got the dragon guard down, or he's just gonna take our unit down anyways. It's probably safer just to go ahead and get this attack in. We're never getting the +2/+2 bonus here. He's not gonna be like, oh, see, he played that dragon guard. I better throw my 2-attack unit in front of it. There's the draw. That's what the dragons are doing today. What up, Chip? Okay. Shyvana? Like, Shyvana's just not that great now. So let's do this. Let's add the Dragon Guard Lieutenant. I assume we're going to be trading somewhere here and then finishing up the turn with a Black Spear. Gives him like some opportunity to get some cards in here, but let's see. Yeah, it's a bigger boy than I really wanted to deal with, but okay. Sad face. Not a super strong unit, but I just want to get his board worn down while we can. We're about to start spending a ton of mana every turn, and not a whole lot of chances for our units to die once they start getting big. So I think that's fine. Them without the ramp from the Sentinel.
With a little time, I'll have a breakthrough.
Okay. Definitely get wide this turn. Pretty okay with that. Playing the Cursed Keeper Viper Worm, and then next turn just opening. Think about this seems good for opponent. We can just throw the Researcher in front of the Charger. Okay. All right, well, we're ready for battle on this set. Okay. It's like I don't really want to have to invest a spell in the Charger. I guess our dude just become a 5-healther. Feels like we're doing a lot and getting ahead, but we can't get like enough ahead. Here we go.
You and I have met before, haven't we?
Okay. This will finally let him trade out his blue sentinel here if he wants. It's okay to prevent down here. This seems very good. If his plan is to just play like one big card at this point, we have the Vengeance for it. So I think we're pretty strong here. Okay. Just gonna like drop a Talia on us or something. We have to go ahead and just Vengeance him. We can't have him dropping a Lucky Find on Malphite and having him get Spell Shield. No thanks. This might strand all these Lucky Finds in his hand. Got him. Cool. So I think that game was, you know, ideally what you're supposed to be able to do with this deck, right? That was a pretty beefy draw when we had the Wings in the Wave as a piece of our dragon package there. That's why I tend to just always star off the Wings in the Wave on every card rating that I put out there. But that was quite big there to curve Wings in the Wave into the Viper Worm, into the new dude, the Dragon Guard, into the 4-cost dragon. That's just a pretty sick way to go about it. So yeah, not bad. These interactions worked out reasonably well, I think. I didn't have like too high of hopes for these kind of Shadow Isles dragons, and I've like heard rumblings of people in Constructed. I don't know if they still do it or not, but you know, playing these dragon chows just as the means to get your like Shyvana leveled up quicker. Like I'm not like really excited about that, but when you add in the addition of the crawling Viper Worm and the Kamavoran dragon, then you know it's not the end of the world having that additional card. Dragon Chow is definitely not as atrociously bad as it used to be. But you know, this did turn out to be another one of those Shadow Isles slay based decks to where you really have to place a lot of value on these early game plays, like the Wings in the Wave with an All-Star, but that's an epic. Cursed Keeper, of course, quite good. Your Hapless Aristocrat would also be quite good, and having the 1-mana ones now would be even more important if you want to try and play the Viper Worm on 2. And furying down the unit or striking down the unit. And so I thought that was an interesting little interaction. It is, quite a bit of work to get the entirety of this deck together, though. Like typically when we're looking at this Dragons deck, you can just go, okay, I'm gonna draft some 2-drops. If a 2-drop comes up, I'm gonna take it. Every time we see a Challenger Dragon, we're gonna take it, and then you're really just chasing down things like Concerted Strike and single combats at that point. It's not that hard to put together. If you find a late game unit, then great. You'll probably end up with one of like the Infinite Mind Splitter or Cadrigen or even a Scout Dragon. It's not that hard to find one of those. But it seemed like we were really like struggling with the whole way here. I know we didn't like see any of those big dudes. We were just kind of limited to whatever this other new one was, Cadrigen the Ruined, right? We didn't see any other big dudes. We only saw a handful of Screeching Dragons. But, for us to be like, okay, we have to piece together all of these 2-drops, like the Egghead Researcher and the Dragon Guard Lieutenant. We also have to piece together having sacrificable things like Cursed Keeper and the Wings in the Wave. And then we also have to go and pick up all these other dragon cards. And, we're getting stuck with some of these slay cards. So we have to have some of this stuff going. Like there's just a lot of buildup going on in there that seems like it might be quite a bit of work to actually come and piece together. And so there is, just quite a bit of raw power here. As horrifically as we played this trial, we still got hard carried by a lot of these abilities. Like having that Vigio card pool that's just happens to have Atrocity in it is quite ridiculous. Like that, the Vigio half of this card pool is absurdly good, and so I expect that to be a real menace and expedition here until Riot comes around and adds some more cards to it. And so we'll see how that plays out. As an aside, what it seems like they've been doing now and kind of their strategy now is you make these really tight-knit expedition pools right at set release. I guess everyone gets to play with the cards at its raw power right at the start, and then they kind of adjust it in the future. And so it doesn't seem like they're taking the approach of let's try and get everything balanced from the start. It seems to be like, well, let's just see how bad this is, and if it seems to be kind of bad for the format, then we'll just add some more cards to it. And I think that's fine. There's so many archetypes and so much randomness in Expedition that it doesn't seem like there's too much danger in that. It's not like we're playing Constructed here and you're playing against Azir Aurelia 30-year games, and so I think that's probably pretty safe and probably pretty healthy as well, just so these people like Shen don't get lost in the mix in a horrible card pool. But anyways, back to this one. All Vigio comments aside, I think this is okay. And so I think a lot of the same things still stand. You really have to go out of your way to ensure that you get all of these early game plays, and I think that's still going to be your kind of like number one focus. You really just hammer down these Egghead Researchers, Dragon Guard Lieutenants, Cursed Keepers, Viper Worms, and then just kind of let the more expensive units fall to you as they will. And I think that'll leave you in probably a pretty good spot. And so not bad. Yeah, again, your big concern with this style of deck is going to be, as Ron Swanson says, you shouldn't half-ass many things. You should whole-ass one thing, and I think that's the big concern with this deck is you're half of a Slay deck, half of a Dragons deck, and you aren't doing either half of it particularly well. And so I think you'll have to be making decisions pretty quick. Like this this Cursed Keeper Dragon Guard Lieutenant at pick 3, not quite what you want. It's okay to stay open at this point, but immediately from there, you probably need to be like, okay, I'm doing dragons, or okay, I'm doing slays, and not really focusing on both things at once. But yeah, not a bad trial. Everyone excuse my poor play along the way. Outside of me playing abysmally and getting hard carried by some top decks, not that bad. I felt like I'm usually not too good the first time around. I get to go out and draft the deck, and so it takes me a while to kind of figure out the interactions and see what feels good with each of the new cards. So my expectations are pretty low once the new cards are out here. But cool, we clicked on a couple things. I don't know, we got some kind of emote, we got something, I don't know, a card back maybe, and now we got to get the prismatics. That's what everyone is here for, and we'll just take the fast spell, right? We at least get the prismatic circle to put on the middle of the board. Maybe tilt our opponent when they see how shiny all of our cards are out there. Okay, it looks like we got a loot box or two. Someone did call out, I know this isn't Senna. I don't think that's Senna. Doesn't look like Senna. But she's apparently a champion in the next set. It said on like the reward list that you'd get like a premium Senna or champion Senna in the next set kind of thing right at the end. But that champion appears to be there. And then what is this? Is this a wild capsule? What? Oh, come on, dude. Come on, Riot. Get it together. What is this thing? We're getting a black square? Is that what we just got? Maybe that was because everyone bitched and moaned about some of the rewards in the path, and they added some additional stuff in there. But I did want to click on here and see if that Senna thing was at the very end. Because I remembered seeing that. Yeah, here you go. +1 Senna champion card given with the next set release. And so apparently Senna will be in the next set. I'm curious how that plays out as far as Lucian is concerned, as to where he doesn't say, seeing Senna, Lucian's lover, or whatever the new card is called. He just says when Senna dies, he gets the boost. And so now that there's going to be multiple Sennas, I'm curious how that'll play out. We've have multiple Cytheria, but nothing really combos with her, and it's really weird to me that they kind of like approached the game in this way. I really thought that they would probably take like the Magic approach with Planeswalkers, where you have, probably a dozen copies of Jace now, and you aren't just like stuck with the one version. It's been, there's been much more than just Jace Bellerin from 10 years ago, and I was really surprised that they didn't make Draven the Showstopper and Draven the Axe Spinner and Draven the Whirling Deather, just so that they could really use the same champions over and over again. And then you could potentially have the interesting thing to where you have Draven the Showstopper on the board and then Draven the Axe Spinner in your hand, and he flips into kind of an interesting spell, or something you could pull off that way. And so I think it's interesting seeing that Senna is showing up as a unit and now a champion, but they didn't go the route of allowing multiples of the same champion. There's like, I don't know, like 150 League of Legends champions, so they got some time. But I was really surprised they didn't take that option. Maybe they have that in the back of their head, and they'll they'll switch to that route if they run out of champions. But we're just out here rambling now, and so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you all learned from my many mistakes, learned a thing or two along the way, and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being